so welcome to my rig at the moment that I'm using. It's a mixture of what I'm using in jams and rehearsals, as well as some of the things that I do use live. At the moment, we are lucky enough to have a neighbours a few hundred meters away, so I'm actually able to jam with an acoustic kit, which I know a lot of drummers can't do at the moment. So my live kit is actually a Mapex Mars 7-piece, which gets whittled down depending on the stages that we play. But this is a Pearl Session kit, which is quite special, as I acquired this from Sean Taylor Steele's, from My Dying Bride, Anathema, and obviously quite recently Godthram. It's a great kit. It's comfortable to play, it's loud, it's got that boom that I was looking for in a new kit when I was looking for a new kit. I've taken the bottom skins off and basically dampened the sounds with Moonjar. So the cymbals, I'll start on that side. I've got a 1974 Swish Knocker, which I bought when I was actually on the hunt for a Chinese. Walked into a drum store, pretty much sat for hours going through different cymbals until I settled on the Swish Knocker and walked out with that. We've got the K Dark Crash, which is over here. And that I've actually just recently acquired a few months ago. It was because I decided that I wanted to try some of the cymbals in rehearsal while my live kit was sitting packed up. So I bought those, and it's a great cymbal. Got the AX Studio Sabian, which is what was the first cymbal that I bought after my Istanbuls, which were the first cymbals that I played, and it is just it's a great crash. We've got the Paiste, which I hate. The Paiste was actually, I acquired that in Africa from a friend of mine who basically ended up with everybody's gear when they all left the country. And I was going through a bunch of cymbals that his drummer had left behind, and I ended up grabbing that Paiste. And although it's an awful cymbal on its own, it absolutely works with my full setup. I love it in that sense, but yeah, don't play it on its own. We've got the Istanbuls, the Crash and the Ride. So the Istanbul cymbals were the very first cymbals that I played with, the first cymbals I acquired. When I was learning to play drums, that was what I learned on. I absolutely love them. They're really crashy, they're just very warm, crashy sound, and I still use them now. This is a custom bell which is used on Ghosts on the album, and that was also a little gift. We got the Istanbul Ride, which is really great. I have some K rides as well, but at the moment they're not set up here. This is a Chad Smith's custom Serbian bell, or what do you want to call it, mini holy china, which I do use extensively in between stuff that I play. And it's got a really great sound, it's got a nice ring on it, it's absolutely great. And then finally the snare, that is a Mapex snare, came with my original kit. The snare that I use on live right now is a DW, but that's sitting in the rehearsal room. So at the moment I'm playing on my Mapex. Right, on hi-hats I've got the K Custom Dark hi-hats. They are a great hi-hat, very warm, kind of round sound. Still trying to warm to them. I normally use my Istanbul hi-hats, which have a bit of more of a ring to them. But they're a great set of hats, and they definitely do work with some of the new stuff that we're writing. So pedal wise, I'm currently playing a set of Speed Cobras. I'm not the fastest double bass drummer in the world, but they're really comfortable and they're really, really responsive. So I absolutely love them at the moment. I do have a set of other Iron Cobra 900 series, but I just find these work better for me. And that's pretty much the breakdown of what is in front of me. Right, so here we have my 22-inch Dream Gone. It is my baby. I love playing it. I get immense satisfaction beating it. It's been a little cracked. It used to be behind me on stage, but now I've started moving it forward because I just don't always have enough space to have it behind me on stage, and it's quite annoying. So I whack it with that, which is a mallet, which is kind of falling apart a bit. And it's a really, really, really great sound that comes out of that. Other things over here, percussion wise, this is the rattle that I used in the desert song. I tried various different shakers and objects to try and get that sound of the sand in the desert song, but this is the only thing that kind of worked. And the problem is that, once again, this came from a tourist store in Africa, so I really try and look after it because I don't know if I'll ever get another one. This is the vibra slap, also got used on the desert song. It was quite tricky because I was having to use the shaker and the vibra slap at the same time, and also making sure that when we're playing it live that the sounds come through. So now I've moved forward to stage and I've learned to kind of whack this on my forearm, which does hurt sometimes while I'm shaking my shakers. And that's pretty much the rundown of what I'm using at the moment and what I'm actually practicing and jamming with at the moment. So there we have it.